What is surrendering? On a spiritual journey, on a twin flame path, spiritual journey of any kind, really, I think that it is ultimately about trusting in God, the divine spirit, source energy, whatever you want to call it. I like to think of it as the highest frequency within existence, within the divine matrix. Um, but I think surrender is a lot of things, actually. And, you hear people refer to stages within the twin flame journey. There are different phases of the runner chaser, and, you have the obsessive thinking and illumination stage, a lot of different stages. And that varies from person to person. But I think surrender is definitely a common one. But I've come to see it as not a phase. It meshes throughout the entire journey. And I just recently realized, when I had looked back over my journal, I looked at something to do with my twin, and the notes that I had made me realize that, I can't confirm it. It's just something that I had gotten through spiritual guidance and what I believed to be happening at the time with him. But I had gotten that he had come into acceptance of what this is. And when I look back at that, I was thinking, you know what? That means he's surrendering. And then I look back at my own acceptance point, which was very early on. I think it was probably end of the first month after I was triggered. And, I accepted this twin flame path of a spiritual journey. So, really, that was the first point of surrendering, is just accepting it. And that actually plays into other parts of surrendering on the journey. When you accept things the way they are, you accept you the way you are, you accept your twin the way they are. And that's falling into that unconditional love. Even though that may not always be something we're able to do, the unconditional thing, I definitely think that it's something we should be open to, even if we as humans are not capable of being that way all the time. But I think having that openness in your heart is a high vibrational frequency and a good place for us to be. I also think that that frequency of unconditional love is a similar or same frequency as the God frequency. My cat's chasing something. She likes to catch bugs and bring them inside. What do you got? So, there's a lot more to surrendering, like letting go of certain outcomes. Like, you might expect or think that, your person is changing a certain way, or, we might have a certain outcome in mind for ourselves in our twin flame. Yeah, my cat's being super spunky right now. And so it's partly, letting go of that. And that falls under letting go of trying to control. At least that's the way I see it. You're trying to control the outcome, trying to control the way your interactions may occur between you and your person. And that's something that I recently really have come to let go of. Also, too, I think that it can be about letting go of the idea of a traditional relationship or even romance, like just having a romantic, loving relationship with them. Not to say that it couldn't happen. Um, I personally believe that as a twin flame, we are meant to come into union and that it is a romantic type of relationship. Maybe not in a traditional sense, like married with children sort of thing, but I think that it's different and different in a good way. I think that we hold on to a lot of traditional ideas of what a relationship should be, and we may get that in our head about what our outcome should look like with our twin flame. And it kind of makes me think of that song by Dido called White Flag. And she says, and I will put my hands up and surrender. There will be no white flag above my door. I'm in love, and always will be. Anyway, she's saying that she'll never give up. She'll never surrender. She'll like always have that love in her heart. Like she'll always be there waiting. And I know she means it in a different way than what I'm perceiving this as, but it kind of makes me think, like that we're holding on to that traditional sense of a romantic relationship with this person. And I, for a while, was really focused on trying to figure this all out. But, that's been another part of surrendering for me. And I think for everyone is like, stop trying to figure it out and just let it be. And, I really, really been coming into that lately. Like, I haven't been trying to figure out every aspect of it. And the reason why I do that is partly because I just enjoy that. I think that is actually part of my soul, that I love research and love just knowing. And it's enjoyable to me to have something mythical or unknown and to be able to like get into the discovery of proving it. And I actually write a lot. I've written novels and done some online publishing, self-publishing, and my writing is usually about, the unknown or mythical. To me, that's fun and exciting, and I actually believe that there's a lot of truth to it, but we just misunderstand it or we've yet to understand it. And I think that that's why I really enjoy trying to figure this out. And, I love puzzles and I've always been big into gaming and, trying to figure things out, troubleshooting. I really love doing that. And so, but another part of that is too, is that I think it gives me some semblance of control. If I know what's going on, if I can figure this out, then I will have more control. And so that's something for that reason that I told myself I have to kind of let it go for right now, after I get through some of this surrendering more, um, then I can go back to trying to figure it out because I feel like it's from a more healthy perspective, um, with a more, it's just more balanced. And it's not like I was out of balance with it exactly. Sometimes I was, but, stepping stones. I'm getting there a little bit at a time. So I think it's partly about letting go of those ideas, those expectations, and just really letting go of it all, not giving up hope, not not giving up. It's just letting go. No pain or grief. Now, like if I happen across a picture of him in my phone, that I forgot was in a certain place or something, it used to be I, I would feel my entire chest, heart, stomach, everything would drop. And, I'd get caught up in feelings. And, this happened the other day where I did come across this picture. And of course, my heart melted. And I'm like, he's so precious. And that was it. Like, it just felt good. But I didn't bask in memories, and I just appreciated that feeling and then moved on. And not to say that it's not okay to do that, but it was just evidence that I had surrendered more. And that felt good, knowing that, being able to recognize that I am still moving forward, because sometimes I have my doubts. Sometimes it gets confusing as to which way we might even be moving. And a lot of this comes back to, well, all of it comes back to what I had started with: trusting in your spiritual guidance, trusting in God, and you just kind of let go of things gradually. And then you get to a point where it feels really good to be able to do that. And, if I'm honest with myself, I had said that I didn't want him to come back unless he was ready, what I wanted him to be, what he could be for me. And, that's when I was trying to figure out my boundaries and how to set them, because I was never good at that. And, I've changed a lot since then. And now it's like I can accept whatever he is, wherever he is, whoever he's with. Like, that doesn't bother me now. And I think that if I were to be in a back and forth relationship with him, which would mean that I had not set boundaries with him, which is not going to happen, because I am very intent on having my boundaries. And by that, I mean what's good for me. I have to look at what I want and what I expect. Like, I can't make demands, but I can just simply say, what is it that I want? And for my life, not just from him, but for myself. If he wants to be a part of that, then that's great. But I have to be the one to set my boundaries and stick to them. And that willingness to risk it all, risk losing them, I should say, not risk it all, but that kind of feels like everything, or it did. It still does, but I'm able to do that and not lose myself in tears about it. It's just funny, how much this, it's just crazy how all of this was dropped in my lap. Just came onto me, and I went through all these changes, and I've come into this power that I used to have a long time ago, but I lost it. And it feels really good to be back to that. I think there's a lot to surrendering. I think that, well, I've read where people say, that's the twin flame model motto, that when you think you've surrendered, surrender some more. And I think that it will always be a part of ascension, awakening, ascending. Um, I think it's just part of growth, but especially in a spiritual journey, I think it's just a big key to that growth, to moving forward, to coming into that complete trust of divine timing, of everything that we try to control. And even though some things may be within our control, we don't have to have it. We can be our best selves in doing that.